Hi, it's 22nd of June 2018 at 1:45 p.m. I think we can all generally agree that the idea is to stay up out of the narc zone and get into the empath zone, and try and be as happy as possible. And I think we're all successful to that to some extent or another. And at times, though, the flak brings you down and they get you down here and shoot the hell out of you. Yeah, so there are a couple of ways to achieve that, to stay up in the blue zone. All right. One way is to do as mgtow suggests, and it's basically cut out toxic people out of your life. And to do that effectively, you've really got to cut out a lot of people and stay home with your TV. And even don't watch your TV because, that's pretty toxic in itself. Yeah, so that's one way, and stay well away from anybody that can bring you down. Another way to do it is to get above the flak ceiling, and an airplane does that with the pilot putting more fuel to the, increasing the throttle, sending more fuel to the engines, okay, and energizing the plane, getting it higher, up it goes. Now the point is, how do you do that with conversation? We can all understand the concept of increasing the fuel supply to a plane's engine, but how on earth do you invigorate a conversation? Do you become more animated? And like this? No, that's not providing energy to the conversation. That's just being an animated person. Okay, now the way I do it is this. Given that I see conversation as an invention, and an invention that I want to keep high and fresh and novel, and not be just off the shelf type, a conversation made up of off the shelf type topic, or sentences or phrases I use. Okay, I like it to be myself and novel and interesting and above all me. Okay. And because I see my conversation as being an invention, I see myself as an inventor who is continually inventing conversation. Now, as an inventor, I tend to think in terms of the problem, what problem my invention is solving. And I mean, there's only a number of problems that one can find just getting through the day. I'm not talking about major problems. I'm not talking about marital problems or, psychological problems or money problems or any of that. No, I'm just talking about silly little problems that come up, and there are so many of them. All right, just any number. All right, you'll get to know more about them as I discuss my own silly little problems that occur and how I deal with them in time. But that's what's so I see myself as an inventor, and I see problems. And if I'm going to tell somebody about my invention and my problems, I anticipate the reservations that the person have or objections to my conversation. Like if I started talking about monetary problems, they might listen once, but not the second time. Let's face it, it's boring. Nobody wants to hear about your problems, your real problems. Okay, it's just not entertaining. It's not up there. It's just they just don't want to know about your problems. So you tend to stay away from that area, or I do anyway. And I talk about the problems that I have just in an entertaining fashion. Anyway, yes, what happened yesterday was that I found myself under the flak ceiling. I don't know what had happened. I was getting a few comments, just one after the next, typical sort of, but I wasn't getting up there. I wasn't finding a way to get to the upper area. I couldn't energise my conversation to get up. So I was taking flak, all right, along here. And I knew what had happened if I kept taking it. I didn't want it to happen because this is where I was going, here, and I don't want to go to misery. So, or even anywhere near it. Okay, so I was thinking, right, I've really got to get myself up here. Just lift myself above the flak ceiling and get up here and get into my normal self. But yesterday I thought, no, I want to try something here. Like, I'm fully confident I could have done it myself, one way or another. But I thought, no, I wanted to see whether somebody else can do it. I want to see if it's possible to teach this. All right, because I want to start this new channel, and I'm really getting more and more interested in thinking about it. And I want to know whether it's just a dream of mine, or whether it was possible to actually teach somebody how to innovate or invigorate their conversation and get it up. So, as I was thinking about that, along came a comment on yesterday's vid, number 229. You can read it yourself. Relationships have become a joke, mgtow. No more than a game of cat and mouse, right? This conversation, this whole thread, was on that particular video. And the comment was made by a guy called mgtow Viking. I don't think I've ever spoken to Viking before, so yeah, we're basically relationship entry zone. We may have done, I can't remember. But anyway, his comment out of the blue was, women are no more than retarded children. What sane man wants to have a relationship with a retarded child? Okay. So I thought about it. I thought, well, okay, we're at relationship entry zone, and I'm here, and I'm I'm hovering around this level at the moment. Right? So I thought, okay, what are my options here? I can agree with him. I can maybe even talk to him, and maybe even make a joke about it. Yeah, and that's about as high as we're going to get. But I know what's going to happen there because, to begin with, there was nothing much in his comment that was going to invigorate me. Or going to energise me above the flak ceiling. So I figured, that's about as high as I could get. And chances are the narcs were going to take a few more pot shots at me and bring me down again. As much as I try to ignore them and all of that sort of thing, the comments do hit. They're just not the first one, not the second one, but the fifth, sixth, seventh. And the lower you get down, the more you're going to get. That's you're an easier target for anybody then, because you're coming down. I thought, no. What I've got to do is get above the flak ceiling, and I want to try and invigorate the conversation, energise the conversation, but not mine. I'm going to try and energise Vikings. So what I did was send him a comment, and this is what I said. Hi Viking, I want to try something here if you're up for it. Can you think like an inventor for a few minutes? Just let your mind go wherever it wants with it. Think about some kind of problem with women. Maybe even think about women as an invention gone wrong. Then suggest your solution to the problem, but in an amusing way. Like, don't make your solution boring or derogatory. Make it fun for both of us. Take your time, think about it for a bit. If you don't want to reply to this, for this way, I'll understand. I just want to see if it changes anything. And I posted that and immediately thought, this guy's going to think I'm a total Fruit Loop. He's going to shake his head and think, who is this nutter? But as it worked out, about an hour later, I got a comment. Yeah, sure, I'll think of it. And a little bit after that, he says, okay, I thought of it. Oh, here we go. Women were created not as individuals, but an evolving collective. What went wrong was men started to interfere with the collective, trying to control it, and correct its mistakes, instead of letting the collective evolve and find the solution to its problems its own way. Men need to stop interfering with the women collective and let it make its mistakes and find its own solutions to its problems. The white knights interfering with women in this sort is the source of the problem we have with women today. I read that and I looked at the name. I saw mgtow Viking, and I went up and I looked at the first comment, mgtow Viking, and I just had a quick. I mean, you can go back and look at it, 229. So I looked at, is this from the same guy? Okay, now to test it, I put myself in a situation where I was at a barbecue or at a dinner party, okay, and this guy was sitting opposite me, and he made the first comment, women are no more than retarded children. Now what am I going to think? I'm having a couple of glasses of wine. I think I'll stay clear of this guy because he's going to be bad news. He's negative and that sort of thing. I don't want it. I just better, I just nod and I don't want anything to do with him. Now, if I was sitting opposite the second guy, I'd probably go around the table and sit next to him and say, okay, so what do you mean here? Because I immediately, you can, if you read my comments, I immediately thought of 3 questions. Immediately after he made that statement. You know, here they are, what do you mean by an evolving collective exactly? And the second question, are you saying men aren't part of a collective? Third is, how do you see men interfering with this collective? And none of these were shooting him down or anything else like that. No, it's just they're clarifying. By invigorating, I was up to this inquire and discuss level. Above the flaks, so see how I've gone around the other side of the table? I don't care what anybody else is saying. I'm interested in what he's got to say. Okay, I'm engaged with him. I want to know what he's talking about. And in doing that, I've gone into the empath zone. I'm wanting to understand what's inside his mind. His first comment, I had no interest. I didn't want to know what was inside his mind. Okay, I wanted to stay away from it. His second response, yep, I was interested. What do you mean? Yeah. I immediately thought, sounds like a Ronald Reagan type thing. The government is the problem. That sort of laissez-faire type thing. But it's like that. But it sounded like it was his idea. I haven't heard many other mgtow talking about it. Maybe I'm wrong. And then I looked at. I thought, okay. And his first comment is saying women are the problem. They're like retarded children. And his second, when it boiled right down to it, what he was saying is, no, he thinks white knights are the problem. He thinks men are the problem. Certain men are the problem. He reckons it's his issue is with white knights, other guys. And it's I'm not even getting to the agree or disagree or anything. I could have easily spent an hour sitting at a table with him, and trying to find out what was really inside his mind, because it was interesting. The first comment was boring. So, in other words, what had happened is we'd gotten above the flak ceiling. We got into the invigorate, inquire and discuss, or by invigorating it, we were inquiring and discussing a topic that was interesting. Okay. And I would have classified that in itself as entertaining. But as it was, we didn't have that 2-hour conversation or hour conversation in comments afterwards. I went on to go into my chat room as well. I had a great night. I had a lot of fun. I was laughing and joking and sort of with friends in PMs. I was in the room and not having a lot. I was saying a bit, talking in the room a little bit, whatever. But there were quite a few in last night, and the flak was coming at me. But it was almost like I was looking down on it. It was like happening at 20,000 feet below. I could see the puffs of cloud. It just wasn't coming anywhere near me. I think I had about 3 flak battalion, as I was on my bombing road. I didn't know who I was going to bomb, but yeah, bang, 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 pop, 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 all the way. It wasn't coming anywhere near me. But yeah, and I was having a really mirthful sort of night. It was a really great night. Yeah, but yeah, the narcs were there trying to. I was just so far above them. Yeah, and you could see the flak ceiling below it. Yeah, so the whole point is, Viking proved to me by thinking like an inventor, and look, there are other ways of doing it. And this is what I want to discuss in my new channel. It's outside the realms of the scope of mgtow, okay, but it's what I think is interesting. I think it's really propelled my confidence more than anything else. I thought, wow, if I can get somebody just by telling him that, and just bang, just as simple as that, he's changed the relationship. He got the relationship up here. It entered here, and we're already up here. That's pretty good. In 2 or 3 comments. That's pretty good. Just by changing what he thought inside. I'm sure there are other things he could have been thinking. I'd love to experiment with it. But I thought that was a real evolution. And it's right there. Just go back and have a look at it. It's in one comment. He says something, I say something, he says something, and then says another thing. That quick. And it's evolved from, have a look at his first comment, compare it to his second comment. You'll see what I mean. Yeah, number 229. It's just that different. I don't know how he did it exactly. You can see exactly your knowledge is the same as mine. Absolutely brilliant. And I think it's exciting. But look, anyway, I'm going, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, been good talking to you. Bye.